My name is Alexander Stephanou. I'm a business psychologist and work as a project manager of employee engagement initiatives with Questback. Prior to joining Questback, I worked with RSA Insurance Group and was a part of the implementation of a new engagement strategy in the Scandinavian region of RSA, which consists of Codan Insurance in Denmark and Norway and Trygg-Hansa in Sweden. So at RSA, there were two reasons why we decided to change our engagement strategy. First of all, we saw that after having worked for 6 or 7 years with our previous vendor, people became obsessed with numbers and chasing numbers rather than actions that could create business value. So a big focus on numbers rather than actions was one of the largest pains, or one of the compelling, you could say, events in that process that made us realize we needed to do something new. Second of all, we had financial irregularities in parts of the business with high engagement scores. And as most of you probably know, the aim of working with engagement should be to increase business performance, and that wasn't exactly what happened, at least in those areas of RSA. So we didn't see a positive connection in those areas between the engagement score on the one hand and business performance on the other hand. So what did we do previously? Previously, we worked with a very generic approach to engagement. We had 12 questions with a 5-point rating scale, so you could rate those questions on a scale from 1 to 5. But the approach was extremely generic. It wasn't aligned to our strategy, and most importantly, it didn't give people the opportunity to really voice their own opinions and their own suggestions for improvement. And so we wanted an approach with less focus on scores. We wanted something new to keep action planning fresh. We wanted questions that were aligned to our strategy, among other things. And in that process, we choose to work together with Questback for different reasons. They really understood our pains and needs. They had a flexible platform that allowed us to develop our own model of engagement. They had relevant references, a well-structured project team, and all in all, the cultural fit between us was great. So at RSA, we also experienced challenges when it came to actually collecting and using qualitative feedback. One thing was analyzing it, making sure that we got all relevant insight out of it. Something else was the resistance we received or heard or experienced from some of our team managers. Because obviously it's much easier to control and deal with quantitative feedback given on a scale from 1 to 5 than it is to control and deal with feedback that has been given in an open comment field. That feedback is much more difficult to deal with. But on the other hand, and I think this is important to mention, qualitative data is what ultimately makes feedback actionable. So the fact that we, based on the qualitative feedback we got in the new survey, could go to the top management team and make concrete suggestions on what they should change in order to increase engagement, increase likelihood for us to deliver on our business strategy was absolutely key in this process. And for team managers as well, they were a bit frightened in the beginning, but when the solution had been implemented, when the feedback was there, managers were actually quite happy with the fact that they now got more authentic feedback and feedback about things that matter to their employees, because ultimately it makes it easier for them to take corrective actions and thus experience how the team reacts in a positive way. So collecting and using qualitative feedback might be demanding, it might be difficult, but it's also necessary if you want to reap the full potential of working with feedback. What I used to say when I talk about this case is that we went from our previous vendor and 90% of the business globally answering 5 or scoring 5 out of 5 on all questions to 22,000 qualitative comments just in Scandinavia, where we were at that time 3,500 employees. And that was obviously 22,000 comments not only on frustrations and things that doesn't work, but also constructive suggestions for improvement that was not only relevant to each team, but also relevant to the top management team when really deciding which areas should we now focus on and prioritize in order to optimize the way we operate our business, and which should we probably not give that much attention. So the feedback we got from the new approach was key in really setting an operational direction for the delivery of our overall business strategy.